Let's discuss how you should actually format a blog. Why am I even talking about this? Well, guys, there is a massive problem that I just realized on my own personal website, Harrison Barron. So back in the day, at one point when I was a much more junior, and I don't even want to say junior, I mean like entry level, just dipping my toes into this, I understood one concept. And that concept was more content equals more better. And that's kind of true, but it has one of those little asterisks right afterward. Problem is I was writing a lot of content. And I also paid a couple people to write content for me because there was just too much content I wanted to write about. And here is the massive problem that I just recently discovered, right? Because I have 240 articles on my website. That is a tremendous amount of content, right? So I'm going through it, and I'm starting to see some massive problems that I need to now go back and resolve. Now, I'm not going to resolve all of these issues on 10/10/21 at 9:18 at night. You're probably not going to see this for a couple days, but I want to go through and I want to make sure that my website has the best possible chance at surviving and thriving on the internet. And I do have a lot of articles that rank on the top page of Google, right? Number one page of Google for a ton of keywords, which is awesome. I'm super happy about that. But what I'm realizing is my website has way more potential than I really even thought. And this is not something that I just see on my own website. This is something I see on my clients' websites. This is what I see on other people's websites over and over again. So I think doing an internal audit is tremendously valuable. Now, if you're totally new to blogging, content creation, this is the best video for you to watch because I'm literally going to go article by article and show you what I did wrong. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to sit here and add more content to the articles that need it. I just want to preface this now because I do understand there are tons of articles that need way more verbiage in there. However, a lot of the articles are well written. I've gone back, I've already done this to a lot of articles, but not all of the articles, especially the really old stuff back from early 2020. So I want to jump in here. I want to share with you guys exactly what you need to do when you are actually formatting or reformatting a blog. Now, part of the reason why my website is so messed up is because I was coming from the platform Kajabi, which I've talked about quite a bit, and moved it over to Webflow. The reason is just because Webflow is a way better website builder than Kajabi is for my purposes. Nothing against Kajabi at all. You can do crazy amounts of SEO. You can do quite a bit on there, but I really like the Webflow format. I like the way it works. I like the way it's structured. And ultimately, I want to share that with you guys and what you need to know throughout this whole process. So we're going to jump into my computer here. I want to share with you guys what I'm actually looking at. So let's just jump over here. So this is the back end of my website, right? If you guys haven't been here yet, it is harrisonbarron.com, and I'm constantly working on it. It's more of a side project than anything, right? That is the way I look at it. It's not my main source of income. My agency, Growth Generators, is my main source of income. However, there is a tremendous amount of potential for this website, and I'm really not leveraging it. And like I said, I'll be the first one to admit I'm not leveraging it enough. And that's okay. I write a lot of content that I really want to write about, as opposed to content that's just going to make me money. And for moral purposes and mental purposes, that is way more important to me. So in here, we have Webflow. This is the back end of the website. But you'll start to see these are all articles that I've either written or I've paid for at some point to have somebody else write for me. Now, without lying, I have written a lot of these articles. However, there's just times where you need articles written, or I just don't know too much about something. So I'd rather pay somebody to go do the research and write it for me, and I'll go back and make the tweaks. So right here, I've currently paused right about where I have these staged changes. But ultimately, you could see, and this is what I'm doing. I'm just going through it. I'm looking to see what articles are well written. Not only well written, have good formatting. So this is an example of a really well formatted article. We have the name, we have the slug here, we have our custom fields if there's any post categories, right? Web traffic and content marketing. We have the post summary. So this is actually what you're going to see when you see right here. And then also this is going to go into the metadata that is super important that Google actually sees, or you'll see when you go to Google and my article may show up. And in here, you'll actually have your entire article. Now, like I said, this happens to be pretty well formatted already, but there's a couple formatting issues, right? Maybe some spelling mistakes here and there. That's okay, right? Analyze. But I'm really not looking for the spelling mistakes currently. I know it sounds kind of crazy, and Harrison, why wouldn't you do that all at the same time? I'd much rather go back another time and fix spelling mistakes than have a poorly formatted article. Now, the reason being is because when you actually format an article correctly, you have your heading 1, your heading 2, all the way up to heading 6, and these are super important. The reason why these are important is because those are the topics or main points that tell Google, hey, Google, this is what this entire article is about. So if I go into here, I'll just pull up one of the more recent ones. So do you need a website to grow your podcast? Is it necessary for growth? Right? So this is an actual article that I wrote, and you'll see here, it's a little short, but inside of here, you see archiving old episodes, reusing podcasts, engaging with your listeners, make it simple for listeners. These are all headings, and I know this because 1, I just did it, but 2, if you have your little cheat SEO minion, totally free, not sponsored, it's just a great little tool, you'll see that it's only 722 words. So this could probably use some beefing up. I could probably double, if not triple the length pretty easily, and you'll have the title, and it'll tell you right here all of your headings. This is super, super important. So show all headings. Currently, I'm just making everything H2s, but the problem is if you go back, you'll start to see some of the articles not having those H2s. So let's see if we can find one really quickly here. I'm just going to go through my list. I found so many of them already. I'm confident in the fact that I will find them here you go. Here's one, right? Pretty quickly, like I was going to say. So if you look at this article right now, we will open this, Grow Your Business After the Pandemic, which is probably still a valid argument, right? I remember writing this article specifically, but something either happened with me publishing it or I just didn't know that much at the time. Either way, totally fine. I'd rather find it now than not. And you're probably wondering, Harrison, you just published it on July 2nd. That's when I cut over all my articles. It doesn't keep the original dates, sadly, but that's okay. And in here, you're going to see, hey, this doesn't look like it did on the last one, right? If I pull up my friendly SEO minion, you're actually going to see that it's really lacking, right? There's nothing here. Featured post H2, featured post H2, 1H1. There's no other heading tags. So when Google reads this, right, it's a 1,100 word article. When Google reads this, Google's reading it, but it may know what it's about, but because these aren't the right headings, it doesn't navigate well. It's hard for Google to fully understand what this is about. So my goal is to go in and just format this so Google goes, hey, you know what? This looks pretty good, and let's utilize this. So now I can go into the back end of Webflow, and I can start to look at, we know that, I know that this is the heading 1, name, how to connect with your clients during the pandemic to keep growing. But I need to let Google know, like, hey, master your social media strategy is super important, right? Take advantage of funding resources, right? These are super important areas. Upgrade your website. And now I'm making these as H2s. There are differences between H2 and H3. I did make a little diagram down. I will actually link it to down below, hopefully in this video, if I can find it again. But I do have a headings area. And the cool part is, actually, I wonder if it's on my website here. Let's find it. Let's go home. Search. Heading. I believe that this might pull it up here. Yeah, here it is. Perfect. So I'm going to just zoom in really quickly, and this is the best way to look at headings. So you have your main heading right here. You have your heading 1. This is the top. There should only ever be one of these on every single page. No more, no less, only one. Then you have your headings 2, heading 3, all the way up to heading 6. Each one of these supports the one prior. So if you have a main heading, right, let's just say how to make a salad, right? First, you're going to get out your ingredients. That might be your heading 2. And then your second heading 2 might be making sure that you have the right utensils, right? Because there's 2 main parts of building a salad. You got to have your ingredients, and then you have to have something to consume the salad on. There's 2 major parts. But then your heading 3 might be get out your tomatoes, right? Get out your lettuce. Wash your lettuce. Wash your tomatoes. You don't wash olives, but like get your olives prepared. All of these little steps, all of these more important areas, right? Because you don't want to tell people, you're going to tell people how to wash your lettuce, but you don't want that to be a whole heading. It's not the thing, right? You want to make sure that wash your lettuce in a sink. And then underneath that, hey, you want to make sure you peel back the layers and make sure you scrub the lettuce as good as possible with your fingers. That way you can reduce or remove any dirt that might be lodged in there. This is incredibly important. So headings are basically Google's way of navigating what the article is actually about. This article specifically is extremely well formatted. I'm going to just zoom in so you guys can see it here. But you'll see here, I mean, this is really, really well formatted. I took my time on this one. I took a lot of time on this one. What is SEO, right? The Kajabi SEO process. That is exactly what I'm trying to rank for, and I am ranking for if you just search Kajabi SEO. And if you're wondering, like, this really does work. You can J-B-I SEO. Sorry, I can't talk and think at the same time here. But you'll see, like, position 7.9. So it's constantly moving through the ranks. It's been out for about a month now, and I'm very happy with it. So the best Kajabi SEO strategy to improve your ranking. That is exactly what I'm looking for. It's already ranking on page 1, and it's just moving closer and closer and closer to the top of Google. It's a well-written article. It uses the appropriate formatting. It uses images, which images are worth their weight in gold, right? I'm an image kind of guy. Give me images, give me videos. It covers everything. It just is a beautiful, beautiful blog. And this is it. This is the whole blog. Somebody can go through, read this. They can see exactly what parts they want to know about, right? You have any links that might be relevant, and it's going to walk you through the exact process. Now, could this be better? Could I add more images? Of course I could. There's always more that you can do. But ultimately, where I'm at right now is ranking me on the first page of Google, and that's really all I care about. Once this blog has been out there for 3, 6, 9 months, I'll go back and tweak and see where else I can make some improvements. But I'm already ranking on the first page of Google, and it's been out for just over a month now. I mean, we're talking about like 40 days, which is fantastic. So that just proves that a well-written article and a well-formatted article is going to give you the best chance at succeeding online. And that's exactly what this is. So I want to go through, I want to make sure that all of my headings are easy to read, right? Find new ways to provide value, get involved in your community. And I will be going back into this. There's no doubt about that. But the thing is for right now, I just want to make sure that it's formatted correctly. That way Google can look at it and say, hey, you know what? Harrison did a really good job with formatting. We now kind of know what these articles are about, and then I can go over the next 3, 6, 9 months and start to go back into these articles and fill in more and more data. They've aged. They've done exactly what I wanted. They've aged online. Google knows about them, and when I go give them a nice breath of fresh air with some updated content, some longevity, and even some images added in here, this is going to make a world of difference. And if I could do 2 or 3 per week, I'm going to drastically increase my SEO results over time. And if you guys are wondering, hey, how does this actually work? Does it actually work? I'm not famous. This channel only has about 450 subscribers at the moment that I'm recording this. But you could see that the growth has been pretty great. I'm very excited with the growth, and it's only going to continue to grow. I want to make sure that this video, I'm making this video specifically to say, hey, I formatted all of these in the last couple of days, right? When I go back and watch this, within a couple of days, I've formatted all of the blogs on my website correctly. And by creating great content, formatting everything correctly, you're going to see some pretty good growth. Is it earth-shattering? No, it's not earth-shattering. I started this website as a project website for me to test and develop and work on different parts of SEO and learning my own business. And I don't want to test on my client's stuff, so I use my own stuff. But, I mean, the results are pretty fantastic, right? You can see that there's been some good growth, and it continues to grow higher and higher, and the clicks follow suit. So I really can't complain. It's a cool little testing ground. It does work. Writing great articles, well formatted, just like you learned in this video, right? You have your headings, you have your H1s, H2s, all the way to H6s, and do it correctly, right? It's okay if you have to go back and do it again. Don't worry about it. It happens. Even the guys like myself, where I run an entire digital marketing agency, it does happen. And those are articles that were from over a year ago, and I really didn't, actually probably 2 years ago now, when I really didn't know SEO. So that is the most beautiful part about this whole process. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys got some great value out of this. I encourage you guys to go back and check it out. Also, shout out to my dog Hunter, who's hanging out with me tonight, and I'll see you guys later. Other than that,